Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts One Piece Yamato figure. And this One Piece line has been pretty hit or miss, but mostly miss so far. I know a lot of people are very excited about this release and also some of the upcoming ones that they've recently shown or previously shown a while ago. And maybe they're going to get this line back on track. Sanji was solid, Zoro was a knockdown, knocked it down a peg. I don't know what I was going for. And then Luffy was also not great. So maybe this one is the step in the right direction that we're looking for. I have good news and bad news. I think it is that step. The bad news, that's the good news. The bad news is it's not that big of a step, but we'll see. There's a lot going on here that's pretty solid, and it's more of a basic figure than you might think despite the somewhat complex character design. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alrighty, before we take a look at the figure, let's take a quick look at my package. I do think the One Piece packaging is the best they have going right now. I think Naruto has the best line of figures as of right now, but One Piece takes the packaging with the nice map. I love the map background, even though it's the actual world, it looks like to me. Is it? I never paid attention. It's our Earth. I think so. But that's what it looks like to me. Anyway, it should be the map from One Piece, even though there's not an official one. But I get it. It looks good. I like it. It's good packaging. There you go. Shows the figure. Shows some things there. It's mostly just a bunch of shots of her face and Luffy. And then you have the usual packaging. Okay, I like it. It's good. Moving on to the actual figure. But first, we have to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Into the AM. They are the wonderful t-shirt people. That's not their slogan. It's the one I give them. They make the best graphic tees I have ever owned, so I'm always happy to do sponsorships with them. It helps the channel, and it helps you guys get some awesome clothes, because these things are wonderful. They're the best fitting, best looking, best printed graphic tees I've ever seen, bar none. And they come in at a good price. I want to go through their website, show you guys some of the options you could choose from. These will be my personal favorite picks, and then you could use my link in the description below to save yourself some money. You could do some bundling, some other various options. Get yourself some good deals on some excellent shirts. So let's go ahead and take a look at some options here. This is one that I am particularly fond of. I love the coloring, I love the layout of, I'm going to say mostly the same thing for all of these because it's true for all of them, but some of them do stand out to me. This one, I do like the design a whole bunch. It's got kind of a comic-y feel, but obviously it's a little more unique. And that's one of the things I do like about these. I'll just add this in. I get compliments on these shirts all the time. If I wear a Marvel shirt, no one cares. Nobody notices. But these shirts catch people's attention almost everywhere I go, and my wife steals them too. So she likes to wear them, even though they're a little bit big on her. I'm a big guy, but she likes these shirts too. So anyway, here's another one that is particularly good. It's a little bit more subdued, but I think it's a nice look. And then let's go ahead and just look at one more. This is one of my personal favorites. I like this one. It's super vibrant, but also not like crazy. I don't know how to describe it. It's colorful and punchy, but not like, oh, I need attention sort of thing. And I think that's kind of true for all of their designs. They're super well crafted, at least according to my personal taste, in that they are colorful and punchy, but they're not like screaming, I need attention, talk to me sort of thing, because I don't want that. But yeah, so there's some options for you to check out. Use the link in the description below. It's Into the AM. They make the best graphic tees I have ever seen. Do yourself a favor and check them out. A little bit taller than your average. And this one stands to the top of the horns about 19 centimeters, and that's going to be roughly 7.5 inches. Here she is up against Darwin. Darwin's been having some really good luck lately. So there's that. I could not find my open Luffy. I don't want to open my spare, but there you go. You can see the size difference. She's got some height on him. All right. Now, I am not this far in the anime, and I don't read the manga, so don't spoil it too much for me, unless this is a spoiler. If it is, don't answer it. She's part dragon. Is that the thing? She's like human dragon hybrid. That's why she has horns. I think I've heard that somewhere. You guys can let me know. All right, let's do a question of the day. Are you guys still hoping for One Piece to be a good line, or have you given up on it because of the duds so far? That's what I was trying to say earlier. Duds, not bump. Why'd I say bump? Anyway, I'm not giving up on it. I think there's plenty of opportunity for them to bring it home. And I think this is, like I said, a step in the right direction. So aesthetically speaking, I like the sculpt. I like a lot of the stuff going on here. I'll get to the one thing that really bugs me about it, but I like the sculpt overall of the skirt piece. It's pretty dynamic looking, and you don't see the separation too much except for up here. There is shading on it. That's nice. The paintwork for her big rope knot, very clean. The purple to white, very, very clean. Not perfect, but clean. Same thing for the belt and the swirlies around here. Very clean paint job. Same thing for the logos on her breastises. Her hair has the nice shading in it, front and back. They did a really good job with that. Again, not perfect, but I think good enough. The gold is nice and shiny. The horns have nice transition from red to orange. That's good. And then the faces. I will say they have nailed the faces on the One Piece figures. Those eyes are done incredibly well. That might be the best tampography I have seen. Very good. Even the red collar inside her, whatever. It's not really a shirt, is it? Whatever you call that. All right, so yeah, it's done well. It looks good. I think the sculpt is on point. I'm really pleased with it. The biggest downside there is, biggest gripe I have, is just that this doesn't look as good as it could. I think if they tucked the side pieces into the front piece, it would look a little bit better. You can't really do that. It's not meant to do that, and that's for articulation purposes, but it does get a little clumsy looking right here, right at the top. I don't love that, but that's not that big of a deal, so I think that's okay. Otherwise, they nailed the sculpt. The paints are clean enough. Could there be more shading and stuff? Sure, but it's pretty good. So I'm happy so far, and I'm gonna say it gets for an aesthetic rating a 8 out of 10. It's gonna get an 8 out of 10. That's pretty darn good. I probably would have gone 9 if this was better, and 9 point something if there was a little bit more shading, but I am not disappointed so far. All right, now for the accessories. She has a total of 5 different faces. The neutral face that comes on her in the package. Then you get one where she's kind of angry, and then 3 open mouth ones, which are like happy, sad, excited. I don't know. Then you get a Luffy face, an extra Luffy face, because they're doing a little bit of that situation with Luffy. So I guess that's okay. She has 2 fist hands that come on her in the package, and then a bunch of different sized gripping hands and style pose hands. That's so that she can hold her club in various positions, I guess. That's, as far as I can tell, why you would need all those different gripping hands, but that's pretty good. And her club is fairly lightweight. They did a good job with that. And then lastly, they gave you this. We don't usually get these with figures these days. It's a display stand. It has a special little tab thingy on the top that kind of lets her not sit in it. And you can hold her up with that if you want to. And I'm assuming they did that just because she's pretty hard to stand on her little wooden sandals. But I didn't have that much trouble getting her to balance. So it's cool that they included it. So if you need it, that's good. It's probably just for shelf dive purposes. And I appreciate that. So accessory wise, like I said, I'm not this far in the manga or anime. So I don't know if she could use anything else. It's still a good spread. I'll go 8 out of 10. I imagine there's like an effect of some sort that she could use, but I don't know. And I can't look it up because I don't want to spoil myself. All right, moving on to the articulation. We do have a couple of problems right off the bat. The hair, the ponytail, as you might guess, it's articulated at the top. It's also articulated at the bottom. Doesn't really do much. Like, it's in there, so that's fine, but what are you going to do with that, really? Not much. But this top one is the problem. Because, well, I guess it's not really a problem. It works, just doesn't move as much as you might want it to. So it's not, I guess it's not a problem. I shouldn't say problem. But if you do keep lifting it, it does pop right out. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't really care about the hair. Now, this one is a problem. The head is on a ball hinge rather than a ball peg. So, the thing about ball hinges is you have to do like a little ball hinge shimmy all the way around in order to get it to lean to the side rather than leaning backwards. And since she has a big long ponytail, as you're doing that shimmy, you're whacking it into everything else. Not good. It should just be a double ball peg. But the ball hinge doesn't pull the face off of the head, so that's okay. Definitely would be better with a double ball peg. There is a ball peg at the neck, so that's nice. And that is useful and pretty well done. Her shoulders have a ball peg connecting them to the main body. That gives you plenty of extra range. And it works. The shoulders going up nicely. You can drop the arms down, raise the shoulders, bring them forward. Obviously, her boobages are in the way to do too much. And she doesn't have like a traditional butterfly joint, which is I'm okay with, frankly. I think that's fine. But yeah, her arms work nicely. No real issue there. Bicep swivel is there. Double jointed elbow works well. Little ball hinge on the wrist. It works very nice. I like her arms a bunch. Now her torso, instead of doing something crazy, they just did a regular torso joint. The white overlaps, and so it's just a ball peg. I don't think there's a hinge in there. Could be. And it just moves around like you would expect it to with a ball peg. The knot stays down here at the waist, so the hair might bump into it, but doesn't really impede articulation at all. So I think you have a double up here and a single down here. Could be wrong, but either way, it moves around pretty well. She can lean forward, she can lean back, side to side. It's as good as I would expect it to be given her character design. There's not a lot you can do with that much side boob as far as articulation goes without it looking really weird. So I think that's fine. Now these guys, they're connected back here on little ball hinges. Like I said, it gets a little clumsy and awkward when you're trying to pose her because it is just meant to be like a big skirt, but you can probably work around it. I don't know why they made this so straight. I don't know. I guess they should have just had it tuck under the front. That would have worked better for me, but it is there, and this is a soft piece, so you can move them out of the way some for posing, but it's not going to be particularly attractive to do that. These guys are also on little ball hinges, so each one will move independently. And then for the legs, not that you're going to be doing much with the legs unless you really want to deal with these things, but the legs are on full-on articulation, just like any of the other figures. Can't do the splits there, but they go out probably far enough because she's going to be really hard to stand anyway without the flight stand. You can get a full-on kick forward, so that's good. The eye swivel is there. It's not the best looking thing, but that's all right. And then the leg does go back nicely. It looks to me like there's actually a hinge in there, all the way in there instead of a ball peg at the bottom here. But I don't know. I mean, you saw the range it had, so I can't really say much more about it. All right, so yeah, you do get a good knee bend in there, though, of course, the skirt is going to be in the way. And then the ankles, standard ankles, nothing special there. Good range, that's fine. Good range all the way around on there. And then the toe hinge is actually really nicely done, surprisingly well done. It's not very stiff, so she's not going to be using it effectively, but that's a good way to do that with the sandal and with the foot itself. That looks nice because you have the ball of the foot still making contact with the surface. I mean, even if there wasn't a sandal here, the hinge is good. It's a good hinge, but it's not exactly stiff enough for her to stand on, so it's all right. Okay, so articulation-wise, is she going to be the most fun thing to pose? Probably not. The skirt gets in the way. It's kind of a hassle, but otherwise it works pretty well. I don't have a lot of complaints about the articulation other than the neck, and I guess the rest works. So give the articulation a 7. There's nothing special going on here. The arms are like a 9.5. They work really well. The rest is just average. So yeah, 7 sounds good. Okay, time for a final rating for this one. I think they're back in proper fighting shape. This is the best release so far in the One Piece line. I hope they continue this momentum going forward, but I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. So I'm going to give this one an overall rating of 8 out of 10. Pretty darn solid release. Few gripes here and there, but I think if you were interested in it before, you should go ahead and pick it up. And if you weren't, then maybe you want to reconsider. So there it is. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.